Thank you so much. Another opportunity for us once again to meet with you. As I said from the previous discussion that I made or from the presentation, I'd informed you that we will also be looking at how do I do stock taking. I know stock taking is one of the key pillars that we do. So when we'll be looking at stock taking, there are key things that I want to first mention. Why is stock taking? Why do we have to do stock taking in Msupply? Because if it is not important, we leave it. But because it's very important, it's good for us to first understand how do I conduct or how do I do stock taking in the Msupply. But before that, I want to first bring you back to the previous presentations that were made on Msupply. What are the things that we see from the dashboard? The dashboard has a very precise, has a summarized information that helps us a lot in ensuring or in determining or in knowing our stock generally. For example, in the first part of the dashboard, you see replenishment that helps you to tell how many inbound shipments came today, how many items were supplied to us as per today or this week, or how many shipments were not delivered. And it also helps us to determine what are the internal orders that were made. Now, under the distribution part, it gives us a summary of the shipments that have not been has not been shipped. And at the same time also you'll see requisition. But above all, the biggest part I want to also take you through is the inventory management. If there is something very important that I want you to really take it into hint or into very serious note, is that Msupply helps us a lot in determining the inventory levels. For example, the first thing that inventory management sections tells us about the expiry date. How many batches have expired? You may have 3 items or 4 items. Out of those 4 items, 2 batches might have expired. But then currently when you look at your store, you may look at your commodities, yes, generally, but you'll be possible to tell that through the Msupply, you can tell now how many of those stock have expired and batches have expired. And then you can make your adjustment through stock taking or making adjustment from your stock. Number 2, it helps you to tell how many batches are expiring, particularly this given month. Without the system, you cannot tell, because from the store, you cannot really tell which item are really expiring this particular month. It requires you to continuously checking, but through the system, as time goes by, you begin to know how many items are expiring. Now, the stock level. Now, why I'm bringing this slide back is that because I know it's very important for us to determine the stock level. Store is not just by the commodities, but we determine how long does these commodities that we have last from the store. So there are some scenarios where you need to first know what is your average monthly consumption per item in the store. If you have paracetamol, you need to determine how long does these commodities or this paracetamol last. It might be 2 months, 3 months, or 4 months. But then through the system, you can be possible, the system can help you calculate that for you to know the months of stock. How do we calculate the months of stock briefly? Now, the months of stock, you first know what is your stock on hand, what we call SOH. The stock on hand divided by the average monthly consumption will tell you how long does this commodity last. I know that is a very brilliant idea that Msupply has given to us, and I believe when you use this idea, you can easily determine how long does your commodities from the store last. Now, looking at the aspect of the stock level, Msupply tells us from the system how many items that we have in total, the total items. Number 2, it tells us how many items have no stock. It means that the stock is physically available in the store, but still we haven't put the quantity in the system. That is the meaning. And we may have several items, but then those items, we need to know how many of those items have stock and how many of those items do not have stock. So after that, then the next one is the months of stock. How many items, will last less than 3 months, and how many items will take more than 3 months or 6 months rather. And then that is how you can be possible to determine the months of stock per the item. Now, these are just the summary. I will not focus on it much, but then let us dive much into now understanding how do I conduct my stock taking. Now, if you want to do your stock taking, there is one down. When you look at from the dashboard below it, you'll be possible to see, look here, look at this part, there's one area that called inventory. You click on the inventory. When you click on the inventory, the first thing, there's a section that says stock take. There is a section that speaks about view your stock. There is a section that speaks about, okay, new stock take. Now, if you are there, you want to do your stock take, click on the last one that says stock take. So as you get to the store, the next thing that you need to do, you click on the stock take. When you click on the stock take, there is in the corner up where you can be posted to say new stock take. You click on it. When you click on the new stock take, now it takes you back to the list of items. I mean to the list of commodities. Now we have two sections there. One that you have to select from the general master list, or you select, either you might want to just make some adjustment, but you just want to do that previously I had 15, I want to just cross check. At the end of the month, you want to make some adjustment. You can select view items with the stock. But when you're doing it for the first time, you have to click on what? The inventory. I mean, you have to click the essential general list, and then you select your items from it. So when it has opened up already, it will tell you search for the items. If you are able to know the generic name, you can search for the items. Okay? As you add the value of those items, you can be posted now to go slowly, item by item, until you finalize. When you finalize on those items, please, I want to just re-echo this. Please and please make sure that you know the pack size. What confuses people much in the Msupply is determining what is the pack size of those particular commodities. Know the pack size, put the right size. We have default pack sizes that we had from the essential medicines when we were inputting it in. That will help you. We'll give you the list. You will go through the list so that you get to know what is the pack size of paracetamol, what is the pack size for ceftriaxone, what is the pack size for ferrous sulfate, what is the pack size for cotrimoxazole. Every item has its own pack size. Now, when you are receiving commodities from outside, those ones you may not have it in the essential medicine list, or they are just by donations and that. Please, you need to make sure that you communicate to us, and then we'll be person to know which item is that. We add it into the system if the item is not there. But if the item is there, please know the pack size. Because if you know the pack size, it will help us now to know what quantity do we have, the stock on hand. But else, if you don't tell the pack size properly, it becomes very difficult. So you'll be person to put every item by batches. Click on the batch, you put on the item, you put on the pack size, and then you continue with the rest of the information. What is the stock on hand? Then you put the quantity, that is the current packs or the count of packs. Click on the count of packs, and then you put the commodity. After finishing it, before you finalize, please go to the side, to the right hand side, and then you select what you call, okay, those boxes at the corner. Slide on it slowly to the right, and then you'll be possible to see them. Click on it, you select them it all. It means that those are the ones that you want the system to update their stock, because that is what you've already done. But if in case, in the process of doing stock taking, your power goes off, you can still get your data. You can still get your data in the system. You come back, you can finalize it. Later, you come back. If you know that your battery is low, just finalize the request. I mean the stock take. Finalize it. You come back tomorrow. You also continue with your stock taking. It's just advisable that don't allow the power first to go all out, okay? Because you never know. This is just a system. Sometimes it has not been saved. But I'll just encourage you. The first thing that you need to do, please confirm, finalize after checking on it. Then after completing it, you go and synchronize it. You sync your data. If you found that data is not syncing, what do you do? What are you supposed to do? Wow, that's very good. If you found that the system not synchronizing your data, check on the site password. Check on the password. How do you check it? Go to the instruction, to the admin, click on the admin. You'll find it there, and then it'll be posted to what? To put it. If you realize that is still not working, please check on your internet. Probably your internet is off, or you have not connected your system to internet. Go to the setting where it is, click on it, put your bundles on. If you don't know, subscribe it. If you're using SIM card, subscribe. If you're not using Wi-Fi, subscribe it, and then your internet is on. It doesn't take a lot of bundles for you to sync your data. And I know Msupply is proven in the worst areas, and it has worked. And I believe in South Sudan, it will also work through consistency. Have a standard. As you have your standard, it becomes easier for you. But if you don't have a standard to follow, it becomes very difficult. In summary, if you want to do stock taking, number one, please, there are two methods that you can use. I would rather not encourage you to do your stock taking by counting direct and you put it into the system. The first thing that I will encourage you, get a paper, list all your items. Find out which batches so that you don't go back, you come back, you realize there are 2 batches, there are 3 batches. List them all first. If you have stock cards and your stock cards are up to date and you have been using them properly, use your stock card. You can count them, but a stock card does not segregate between which batches are this. Yes, it is segregated in some stock, but when you have more items, it becomes very difficult for you to know which batches are this. Segregate the items first, know quantity, order, the pack size counts per batch before you start putting it into the system. You can do that neatly and it works. But if you're just doing a kind of a quick check, you realize that an item has expired, what are you supposed to do? Go click on the inventory, click on the stock, okay, take, and then you go to new stock take, go with items with this stock. Don't click on the other one. The first one for the stock taking for the first time, the one with the series of items, you go into the items with the stock because you want to remove the damaged out or you want to remove the one that are expired. You click on view, items, you click on items with the stock. So when you click on item with the stock, don't add item. What you're supposed to do, there's a place of filter, type the item there. If not, click on the expiry on top of it. When you click on the expiry on top of it, the item that is near to expiry will come on top and it will be possible to see which item has already expired. Don't remove item that has not expired because the system will still not reject, it will still accept. But so what you just need to do, know which item have expired, you write the generic name properly so that when you go, you click on it. When you are done, check on the empty box on the right hand side as you slide it, and then you'll be possible to put your data. You put in your confirmation that these are the items. When you click on confirmation, it turns to be gray in color. It may not be blue, it turns gray. It means that now you have done what is it right. After completing that state, you sync your data. Either you're updating your stock for the first time, or you're doing stock taking for the first time, or you're removing expired drugs, or you're doing just physical inventory or physical counting. Please make sure to keep your stock up to date, because it's from here that the first slide that I presented to you about the months of stock, it comes as a result of this. It helps us to know what stock do you have, what is your average monthly consumption, and then it divides to tell you how long does this commodity last. And then when you know how long does this commodity last, then you can make decisions over. For example, these drugs that are less than 3 months to expire, what are you supposed to do? You make new internal order. As you make new internal order in the process of waiting for the commodities, because of the lead time, that time when you already have your commodities. So please, these are the basic steps. I want to say thank you so much for following up. We'll appreciate you contacting me or contacting my team from the Ministry of Health in the M&D department. We are ready to support you in making sure that we advance the Msupply to all parts of South Sudan, and also ensure that the support that we get from partners, from donors with commodities, we can easily manage our commodities as expected. When you have some challenges, don't hesitate to reach to your teacher or to reach to your friend, Lowrence. Lowrence will be there to help you, and I'm sure I'll get time and take you through what you find very difficult to manage. Others, thank you so much. I remain Moro Lowrence. You are online teacher. At the same time, also you are a trainer in Msupply. We are working on ensuring that we integrate the Msupply with DHIS2 so that we have up-to-date records or data that comes from the commodity, from the facilities direct. Others, thank you so much for following up, and thanks for giving in your time. We do appreciate. God bless you all.